6.
This is Sergeant Chris Richardson of the Tennessee Highway Patrol. Over my career, I've been asked, what's the most difficult part about being a state trooper? That's easy. The hardest part about being a state trooper is going to someone's house and telling the people there that someone they love is never ever coming home because of a senseless, preventable traffic crash. In Tennessee, every year, way too many lives are lost by drinking and driving, texting and driving, and not wearing your seatbelt. Please don't make me tell your loved ones that you're not coming home.
With the fast pace of today's busy world, it's always good when we find things that are convenient and save us time. Jackson Energy Authority can help with that. Choosing E+ broadband for your cable, internet, and telephone services means you can actually eliminate some of those bills in the mail each month. And talking with customer service is as easy as making a local call. One provider, one bill, and local customer service. It's simple. Call Jackson Energy Authority about E+ broadband services.
I was blind, I couldn't see my way. Didn't think I could make it another day. As a community, we depend on each other. Right now, somebody's life depends on blood. Can we depend on you? You never know who'll need blood. I did. And I'm so thankful they were there for me. Please become a blood donor.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids
you.
how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
Welcome back to Front Row at E+ TV6. This is our monthly look at what's going on in the Jackson-Madison County school system. If you're just joining us, we're continuing a conversation with Verna Ruffin. July 1st, she'll become the superintendent of schools in the Jackson-Madison County school system, and it's a real delight to have her in our city early and have this opportunity to talk with her. And if you're just catching this program, I hope you can catch on replay and pick it up from the very beginning. In moving into administration at that level, and then you're going to move into curriculum. And so what kind of change did that represent for you as an administrator?
It was a huge change because having been an area superintendent and worked with a number of schools and maybe seen some of the gaps in terms of resources that the schools lacked, you know, it was huge.
Okay.
There was some inconsistencies in what schools were receiving and how they were actually administering it from campus to campus.
How does that happen when you look back on that?
I think that I realized at that time, more than anything, that being able to lead a district and knowing all of that information could really help you to divert your resources and funds in a way that would eliminate that problem. Left on its own, it just continues to become a massive confusion. People do the best they know how to do, and that could mean a lot of different resources spread across your district. And I really saw that as an area superintendent, that my schools didn't all have the same things, but they didn't need to. And I thought that was a huge waste of resources, in my opinion, because you changed principals frequently, your teachers moved from campus to campus. So when they were working at an elementary school, if they weren't trained to be able to use those materials, you know, it was just a massive confusion and a waste of funds because they had to learn something brand new when they moved to another school.
Wow. Yeah. So what was your objective then when you got into curriculum and all? To standardize this or to make, how do you handle that?
One of the first things I really wanted to do when I went into curriculum was I wanted the district to realize just exactly how huge that issue was across the district. While I knew that it was an issue for 19 schools, it was an issue for all 87 schools. And so to really dig deeper into how wide is this issue and how are we going to resolve it. I wouldn't say that we resolved it, but we brought it to a level of attention where people began to understand that if we were really aiming to improve reading across the district, we didn't have that clearly defined.
Okay.
It was whatever someone interpreted it to be.
Okay.
And I wanted to bring it to the level of understanding that it wasn't about programs, because we had a lot of programs. It was really about the effectiveness of the teacher and the relationships teachers had with children. I think we were successful in bringing it to that level of realization. And to dig deeper and to really eliminate some programs, I think that would have been my next step.
Okay, interesting. So we can get too program oriented then, or get off point then?
We can definitely get too program oriented. We can think that there's going to be a major program that's going to come in and take care of all of our reading issues throughout the district, and that is never going to happen that way.
Okay. So it gets back, with everything that we've got, to teacher?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The teacher is the most amazing and influential person in that child's life.
Okay. Somehow I think that occupation gets disrespected now with us. I don't know. I mean, that's my sense.
I think sometimes it does.
I interviewed a woman several years ago. There was a Japanese exhibit here, and she had all this finery on. And I said, when do people wear that? When I see pictures of Tokyo or something, I don't see people in this stuff. And she said, you wear this the first day you take your child to school because you're going to introduce your child to their teacher. And I thought, and it's the most formal of transfers. And I thought, wow, that's an amazing thing. And I thought, we've lost that somewhere in there. She said, I want my teacher to see me at my best, and I want my child to see that teacher at their best. And when I hand this child off, and I thought, you know, we could use some of that, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and so here we go. All right, what attracted you to the position here in Jackson?
Well, I told you earlier, I knew I wanted to be a superintendent. I also knew I wanted to earn my doctorate. So I'm really goal-oriented. I set goals for myself and for where I would like to see myself in my future, where I would like to impact and be able to make a difference. And so I set that into motion a few years ago, knowing that I really wanted to complete my doctorate and become a superintendent. Those were two major career options.
Why did you want to become a superintendent?
I wanted to become a superintendent because I really, by that time, understood that to really make a difference in the district, you had to have a right connection with the Board of Education. That board had to support you, you had to support that board, you had to have a common vision, and you had to work together to make a difference in the lives of children. And by then, I really, really knew that to make a difference in a school district, you really had to be at the superintendent level. You had to be at that level where you could affect policy, where you could work with people, where you could actually lead a district to making those kinds of changes.
So you can implement things at other levels, but to really set that definitive direction,
absolutely,
you need to be a superintendent.
Absolutely. I think it's so different being the leader of a district with the right people working with you as opposed to just being in one department. You can affect your department, but when you can affect an entire system, you can make a difference in the lives of children.
What appealed to you about this job then in this community?
I think it was an aligning of the stars because absolutely there are a number of superintendent positions that open all the time. I didn't apply for all of the positions that open. It was important to me that it was the right connection, but you don't always know how that right connection exists, you know, or how do you get to it. So this actually worked out. I was called. One of the superintendent search firms actually called me and said, I think that there is a district that you might be a good fit for. If you have time, why don't you take a look at this? And if you're interested, just give us a call and then apply. And that was Jackson, Madison County. So he called. I think I was in the middle of turning in a chapter for my professor, working on my doctorate. And then a few days after he called, I started looking at it. And I studied, you know, I looked at the online things. I you know, read a little bit in newspaper articles. I wanted to know if it was a district that I needed to apply for. And so I liked what I read. you know, in student achievement data, you know, saw that you had some gaps, saw that there was some diversity in the district, saw that there were challenges in the district, thought that my skill set was something that, you know, I could do this, and I applied.
Okay.
And after I applied, I was called for an initial interview in Nashville, and from there I was one of the 6. So it was a lengthy process.
Okay. Okay. All right. Dr. Verna Ruffin is with us. She will become the Superintendent of Education in Jackson-Madison County effective July 1st. We'll continue this conversation. This is Front Row at ePlus.TV6.
Jackson, Tennessee is where baseball players, beauty queens, heroes, and legends are all connected. When country connected with the blues in Jackson, the sound was heard around the world. Jackson is not just one attraction, it's a whole package. When visitors come to Jackson for sports or a conference, they find there's something for the whole family. Great places to eat, great places to shop, fun things to do, and interesting things to learn. So spread the word. Tell your friends and family to visit Jackson. It all connects here.
The mapping system our local 911 services use to locate the site of an emergency requires a high-speed connection. ePlus Broadband's network speed and local service with unparalleled response times helps organizations like this to perform at their best, especially when every second counts. This is why Internet services for 911 dispatchers are delivered by Jackson Energy Authority. To connect your organization, call 422-7500 today.
When you're making one of the largest financial decisions of your life, you need someone that is willing to spend time to help you understand the process.
No matter your experience level or your financial picture, you still need a caring, knowledgeable professional.
Community Bank and Churchill Mortgage are those professionals.
Our purpose is to deliver the highest standard of information, resources, and service.
Community Bank and Churchill Mortgage, a team you can count on.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Welcome to Fairy Tale Acres, a beautiful land where witches, wolves, and giants lurk. The biggest danger, though, may be under the dirt, where wires, pipes, and cables dwell. The moral? Avoid a grim situation. Always call 811 before you dig.
Welcome back to Front Row at ePlus.TV6 and a conversation with Dr. Verna Ruffin, who will become Superintendent of Education July 1st in the system. She's visiting this community and the school system. Dr. Brian Ford is with us as well, and appreciate him being here. And we'll talk with Ginger Carver before we leave, just to re-highlight some of the things happening with the school calendar and events that are coming up over the next few weeks. How does this city, this county, this system look to you now that you've accepted this job and you've gone through the interview process and you didn't run off?
No, I did not run off. I told you I wasn't.
From the very beginning. All right, so how do we look to you?
It has been an amazing week that I've spent here thus far. It just seems as if the city, the school system is just ready to really pull together with a common vision to get a very tough job done. Okay. And I've met several people since I've been here this week. The enthusiasm is contagious. I think that we need to build on that, because while I continue to say the work is going to be challenging and it's going to be tough, I think the fact that people really want this to work it's a great place to be. Okay, all right, so that is good. Yes. There seems to be, because it has been a divisive process, I think, over the last several decades here. It's been a real challenge. We're not past, obviously. So what do you look to do then, or what is happening with you and with this system? What do you want to see us do? I really, I started off when I know I've talked a lot about the 100-day plan. One day everybody's going to see what that 100-day plan will look like, but it's going to be something the board and I will talk about and roll out. But It's very important to listen. It's very, very important, and I think I've done that this week. I've spent time with the people that I've met. I've been to several events. I really wanted to start by meeting the principals and having a visit in their schools. I think that was critical. Developing a relationship with the people at the central office, my team, the people that I'm going to work with the closest to be able to get this major work done. That is occurring. I've had an opportunity to spend some quality time with members of the executive staff, and they've actually been helpful in taking me to different schools this week. So while I didn't visit all of the 27 schools, I had an opportunity to do some of both. Visit schools, spend quality time with members of my staff. I think that's essential. Learning some of the issues and some of the challenges, as well as some of the great things that are happening. Finding out what their needs are. It's really important that I know what their needs are so that I can better support them in doing the work that I will ask them to do. It's important that I hear what's important to them as I lead this district. You know, what kind of a superintendent they're looking for, what kind of communication style, you know, inclusiveness. It's very important. I'm huge on collaboration and being inclusive. I think sometimes communication can be the greatest detriment to moving forward. So I really wanted some quality time with my central office staff to be able to start developing that. I visited about 11 schools this week, and I think that's a pretty good start. And when I return, I want to visit the others. I've had a chance to interact with members of the community. I think that was just a great opportunity. There were a lot of things happening in Jackson this week that afforded me an opportunity to go into meetings. I was at the Chambers luncheon, had an opportunity to meet a large number of the business leaders and community leaders that have a vested interest in what happens in our district.
How do we look compared to where you have been? As far as, you know, we've talked about achievement gaps, we've talked about, we've had racial issues, composition has changed significantly over the last couple of decades with public schools, increasingly African American in content, as people have left the system, some cases left the county. Not anything new to you. You've seen this before.
I have.
So how does this feel to you now?
Right now, I would say that I am so happy that I got that call from the search firm, because it has been, there's an energy here that you don't feel just anywhere. I know I've said that a lot of times, you know, people are very friendly here, and, you know, people might think, well, what does that mean? I mean, people are actually, they approach you, they introduce themselves, they talk about things that are important to them, they wish you well, they want things to succeed here. I think I've gotten that message probably 1,000 times in the short visits that I've had here in Jackson. I think that when people really are genuinely interested in what happens with your school system, and they care about what happens to children, and I think that makes this a very strong community. I've sensed that very deeply this week. It's not just a surface level. People want this to work. As a matter of fact, there's a sense of urgency, I feel, that this has to work. You know, and they're depending on us to be able to put together and to lead this so that it's going to make a difference for the community. I sense the business community wants that to happen. I know the board wants that to happen. And I think there's a synergy, so to speak, that just says this is just the right time. And in terms of from where I've been in the past, I've never felt anything so warm and welcoming and urgent to be able to move a city forward like I felt being in Jackson.
That's interesting. Because, listen, you know, those of us that are here, you don't have anything with which to compare it. You know, we haven't been anywhere and coming into this situation. So this feels good.
It absolutely feels, this is the right thing. It's the right time. That's how I feel.
All right. So the 100-day plan will be introduced or revealed when?
Absolutely. I don't know if we've talked about that, but I'm also a participant in the Soups Academy, and that's something that I applied for. I was nominated for over a year ago, so I've made a commitment to that. And they are working with me on developing that based on the strategic plan that we have here in Jackson. So it starts with the listening part, meeting with community members, meeting with stakeholders, which I've actually started doing. And that goes on until you can really get a feel for what exactly is happening on the school level, from the community level, from the parent level. And so I've already started that part. Okay. It takes you through so that you're able to put together a plan that says, this is what I'm hearing, this is how that looks like in terms of developing a plan for Jackson, Madison County, and this is how I plan on leading it. So it actually, you know, I've asked that question, you know, well, does that plan start on July 1st when I become superintendent, or it's like part of this transitioning? And so it's kind of a little bit of both, because by the time I officially move here and take on the superintendency on July 1st, I will have a lot of that preliminary work already done.
Okay, all right. Well, we look forward to it. Look forward to it. What does Verna Ruffin do to relax or fun or you know, whatever?
Well, right now, I am working on graduating so that I will also be finished. Okay. I will be absolutely.
So nothing else but school right now, right? Okay.
Yes, yes, absolutely. When I return on Sunday, I actually have an appointment with my professor because I've submitted another chapter. So I'm looking forward to hearing her feedback, as well as going back to work and doing any editing that I must do. So graduation is top priority for me before I move to Jackson. The other thing that I really enjoy doing, and it's a relaxer for me, is I love to cook and I love to bake. Those are relaxing things. So if ever I get really stressed, it's probably not going to show too much, you know, physically, because I probably did a lot of baking and a lot of cooking before I came back to work.
All right. Well, very good. Well, we look forward to the first edition of In the Kitchen with Verna, or whatever we've got coming up here. It's very good to meet you. Appreciate this opportunity to talk with you.
Thank you very much.
It's good to have you here, and we wish you the best. I think the thoughts, prayers, and support of this community are with you and the entire team, the effort. Nothing more important.
Thank you so much.
It's good to see you. We'll be right back. Ginger Carver's with us, and we'll run through some of the things coming up with the calendar, and look forward to Dr. Ruffin in this transition. July 1st, she is the superintendent, director of schools in Jackson, Madison County, and we look forward to this transition. We'll be right back as we continue Front Row here at E+ TV 6.
Introducing E+ Broadband's Home Area Network. Now you can stay connected to the web and not the wall. One secure connection connects multiple computers and devices, so you can surf the internet from any room in your home with no wires and no worries and no limits to what you can do. Everything's included and backed by our local JEA customer service. Connect everyone, everywhere with E+ Broadband's Home Area Network. Call today.
Hi, I'm Franny Smith, host of E+ TV 6 cooking show At Home on the Range. Our show features some of Jackson's best cooks, regular folks just like you and me that enjoy home entertaining and sharing their culinary skills. Join us each week as our guests share favorite family recipes, tips for entertaining, and delicious fare from the natural gas kitchens at Kaufman's Home Furnishings and Appliances. Have fun with local folks who are going to help you feel more at home on the range.
Look, we don't have to be a part of gangs. We don't have to go out and, you know, rob, steal, shoot, whatever. You could think on your own. I want you to feel like you can breathe on your own and be a leader. Your creative mind will always take you as far as you want to go. You just gotta stay focused. You gotta get through all the bad stuff you don't want to do in life. And you can do anything you want. I'm Russell Ferguson, and this is my example.
Hey, Cardinal Nation. On the field, I'm serious about winning. But off the field, I'm serious about fighting cancer. And I'm joined by thousands of Relay for Life participants in this fight. Not only is Relay for Life the largest fundraiser in the world, but dedicated volunteers work hard year-round in honor of those they know who have fought cancer. My grandparents have been touched by cancer, and that's why I chose to fight back with the American Cancer Society. I want to thank Relay Nation for helping the American Cancer Society save lives. Great work. Now let's finish this fight.
Welcome back to Front Row at E+ TV 6. If you happen to just be joining us, we have concluded an interview with Dr. Verna Ruffin, who will become our superintendent July 1st. So if you're just seeing this, catch this on replay. It was great to get to this opportunity to talk with her. Encouraged by this.
Very.
I think she seems very comfortable with herself and great base of experience and wants to be here.
Yes.
So
that's what I got as well.
Yeah, that is a good thing. We certainly wish her the best. She is going through a transition process now and will become the superintendent July 1st, but is planning some time here, and so it'll be an opportunity to see her, and we're really appreciative of Dr. Brian Ford making arrangements for her to be with us on this day, and so we appreciate that, and hope you'll catch this on replay if you're just joining us, and that conversation with Dr. Verna Ruffin. Ginger Carver is with us, and she is the Marketing and Public Relations Specialist with the Jackson-Madison County School System. We started with Ginger. We just wanted to recap and remind you of some things that are coming up. Got a busy month in the month of March because we've got spring break.
Oh, that's the most important thing.
That's one of the great things that people are looking forward to. But prior to that, we have parent-teacher conferences.
We do. Coming up for middle schools on March the 19th, and then for elementary, they will be on the 21st of March.
And how those are handled will vary from school to school.
It will.
The principals and teachers set those up. In some cases, you may want to schedule appointments. In other cases, it may not be, but just be aware,
yes,
parents, that those are coming up in case that hadn't been mentioned at your house.
Because this will also be at the end of the next grading period.
Okay.
So this will be an opportunity to discuss those grades.
So we're going into that last.
We're ending the last, the third
quarter of this year.
of the school year. So we have one more grading period.
Yeah. I just remember there are times in my academic life that I wasn't really keen on my parents going and visiting with the teacher, so I may have forgotten to mention that. You know.
So we hope that this will inform all of our parents in advance.
Looking for the paperwork.
You might want to talk with the teachers about it.
The 19th for middle schools, the 21st for elementary schools. Parent-teacher conferences are coming up. Part of this getting ready to transition to that last quarter of the year academically, and also we're headed toward TCAPS.
Right. The big testing month is April. So coming back from spring break. Hopefully the kids will get to go on spring break after they have received their grades.
Okay, and regroup
and be prepared because I'm sure the month of April will be concentrating on preparing for that test and preparing the kids how to take a test. You know, how to prepare not only academically for it, but physically, mentally, you know.
Okay, it's very important. It's a very important student measurement for the students, for the schools, for the principals, the teachers, everybody. It becomes part of everybody's evaluation, and also just kind of defines where we are on point here. And so we're getting into this. We talked about the Do the Right Thing initiative that's coming up with Ernest Brooks II, and that's underway for middle school students. We've got a lot of things happening in the month of March. We've got teams in the state basketball championships.
Yes.
Southside and Madison Academic, and so congratulations to them. We've got a Madison Academic decathlon team that's going to the Nationals.
Yes, that will be in May.
A thrill, and all of these other things. But in the midst of all this, something really, and we got students are involved in the color of music and the ballet, and these are independent things, some cases through school, some cases independent, but it's just great to see these students from the Jackson-Madison County School System recognized and participating and honored for their work in all of these different areas. In the midst of this, we've got a new way of checking on the cafeteria and paying my cafeteria bill.
That's right. We're online. I mean, we are getting so techno.
Okay, so Chuck Jones and crew are coming through.
They are taking care of business. If you'll go on our site to the school nutrition tab, they have a little button there called My School Bucks. You click on that and it will walk you through how to set up your account, and you can pay for lunches that way, and it's within a matter of minutes. If your account is depleted and your child needs lunch money today,
it can be done.
It can be done within a matter of minutes.
All right, so I go to jmcss.org, I go to school nutrition, and then I go to the Bucks thing, and I can do that. Or if I don't want to pay through that, just want to be alerted through that, then it can keep me up.
Right, you can set your account up any way that you would like, but this is just a great opportunity to keep on top of it. As a parent, this will be great for me because there are times when I have forgotten to send that little
money,
check with my child.
One thing that happens with us is that it's just surprisingly how much they eat sometimes. And, or how quickly
You just gave them money last week. And
that's the way it seems. And then what do you mean it's gone? The account is depleted. But anyway, so that's a good problem.
That's right.
A good problem to have, and all the things that are going on. How is this work going for you? Because you're relatively new in this position, and so you've had children in the public school system here, but now you've got to see the whole thing.
It's exciting. I mean, because I have had children in the school system for about 16 years now, and just to see some of the great things that are coming about, I'm encouraged so much with Miss Ruffin and the things she's talking about. I believe we've got a great day ahead of us for Jackson-Madison County School System.
You have visited, and have you been to all the schools now since in your work?
Most of them. I'm still, even, I've only been here since the first of the year, and I still haven't had the opportunity to go to each one.
Okay.
But they are keeping me very busy because they have so many great activities going on, and we're trying to promote that, to let the community know that we are learning, but we're having fun doing it as well, and that we've got some great achieving students within our system, and there's a lot of things going on daily in our schools.
Well, I've seen a lot of publicity, newspaper articles and photos and everything, the dance groups and everything else out there, so I hope it's good work. It's good to see.
It's been great.
Appreciate this opportunity to be with you. All right. Ginger Carver with us, and she's the Marketing and Public Relations Specialist with the Jackson-Madison County School System. The school site is jmcss.org. You can click on any school, elementary, middle, or high school, and pull those down. Each of those schools has an individual website. Those are being fleshed out, so it's just great to keep up with what's happening. Thanks to you for being with us. Thanks, Ginger. Thanks to Ms. Ruffin, to Brian Ford for being with us earlier, and we appreciate you being here. This is your front row look at what's going on in education. The Jackson-Madison County School System at E+ TV 6.